Guys, today's video, a lot of people are gonna hate me for, bro. A lot of people are going to not like what I have to say today. Because as you guys can see by the title, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about stop making excuses, about not making excuses, about not acting the victim. Acting the victim only gives you an excuse to not do the thing that you have to do or to not progress in your life in some way. People only focus on the problem and how it's stopping them instead of being a problem solver and actually trying to find a way around the problem. Instead, they say, oh, this happened. I can't do this now. Be a problem solver. Be someone that, against any issue in life, anything that happens, you think to yourself, how can I solve this problem? And I promise all these little excuses, all these little things in your life that you keep on making excuses for, all of a sudden, they're no longer excuses. They're just little obstacles that you find a way around, or if you can't find a way around it, you take a different route. There are so many people out here in the world. There's just an unlimited amount of issues and weaknesses and just all kinds of roadblocks in everybody's life. And there's so many different factors that other people have that I don't have. So I don't want to be criticizing people because there's a lot of issues that people have that I don't. But I do know for a fact that there's always a way to solve these issues. No matter how bad they are, there's always a way to solve them. And if there's not a way to solve them, there's a different route that you can take. There's so many issues that other people have that I can't relate to. And so, like I said before, I don't want to criticize anybody, but there is a way around issues because I have been through my own share of problems just like everybody else has. And I know that there is always a way to solve problems. And there are problems that cannot be solved. And those are things that you cannot control. So, like I've said in other videos before, with things that you can't control, you stop thinking about it, you let it go, and you just move on with life. If it's a problem that cannot be solved, it's something you cannot control. So you look a completely different direction. Now, there are actual real disabilities like being handicapped and not being able to like walk, or people with real mental issues like schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, that kind of thing. Some people with severe ADHD. But the thing is, these days, mental issues are just so easily given to people. Like, have you noticed how everybody these days has ADHD? They have ADHD. Everybody has ADHD. You just ask anyone, oh yeah, I have ADHD. Everyone has ADHD these days. There's no way all of a sudden everyone has a mental illness. Doctors, the internet tells you that you have a mental illness. There's so many people that are being told that they have ADHD, bipolar disorder, and there are people that actually have these things, and it's something that can literally not be controlled. But there are so many people that they've acquired these mental issues and they think that they have things or they think that it's something that cannot be solved. The reason why everyone has ADHD these days is because of social media and the short attention spans that social media has created for people. People don't really have actual ADHD. They were not born with it. They developed it because they kept on watching social media and their attention span just kept on shortening because of watching like short clips or not being able to pay attention to something actual meaningful. That is how so many people have acquired ADHD. And I'm also going to get into depression. Depression is something that it's the same thing with ADHD. Everyone has depression these days. Now, there are people that are actually clinically depressed, and I believe that is a true thing. I'm not one of those people that's like, depression isn't a real thing because obviously it is. There are people that are literally depressed and there's nothing that can be helped about it because of some kind of actual mental disorder that they have. But people like to use it as a crutch. People like to say, oh, I'm depressed, so I can't do things, or I'm too lazy to do things. There are so many people where their depression is their own fault. Their depression is brought on by themselves. It's their fault why they're depressed. They're depressed because they won't get off their phones. They won't stop playing video games. They're stuck inside their house all day. They don't ever see the sunlight. They don't talk to people. That is why they're depressed. It's not because of some uncontrollable factor in their life. It's because it's your fault. And I can't 100% blame the people that are like this, because that's the way humans are programmed these days. That is the way the media has programmed people, is to become addicted. There are people that are experts on controlling people, people that work at Silicon Valley, that know everything about the human mind, that will do everything in their power to get people addicted to social media. But the thing is that you can actually stop this. You can fight against it. There's so many people that are just too lazy, that just don't have the drive to fight against it. But that is something that can be controlled. It's not something that is completely uncontrollable. You have the ability to fight against it. So stop making the excuse that you are too addicted to social media. Start actually trying getting hooked off of social media or video games or watching TV shows. Start dialing it back and actually putting in the effort to try. You can tell your brain to not do things. Did you know that? Did you know you can actually tell your brain to not do things? That you can actually, like, I can't control my hand from going this way. I can't control my hand from grabbing the remote. Tell your brain to pull your hand back. You know you can actually do that, right? You can. And then there are people that actually have real conditions that can be helped, but they choose not to help them. Like obesity. Obesity is a huge thing. Back 100 years ago, there wasn't, every other guy wasn't obese. These days, obesity is a thing, a huge thing, and it's not a genetic thing, because 100 years ago, there wasn't just obese people walking around everywhere like these days. And again, I can't 100% blame normal civilians for being obese, because that is the way the media makes it. That is the way the media tells you to do things. And it says that it's completely okay. It says that to not be body shaming, and you shouldn't be body shaming, but it's like saying that, oh, if you're fat, it's perfectly fine. You're perfectly healthy. You're perfectly good. Like, that's what they're saying. It's not about body shaming. If someone's fat, then, I mean, obviously you shouldn't make fun of them because they're fat. I mean, that's just stupid. Why would you make fun of people? But it's not okay. It's not okay to be fat and eat food and sit inside all day and never see the sunlight and not talk to friends. That's not okay. And you can't tell people, "Oh, you can stay fat because you're beautiful just the way you are." You can't be telling people that, because it gives them an excuse to be fat, to stay inside, because no one's telling them anything different. No one's trying to motivate them to stay out. They're just saying it's okay because you're fat. It's okay to be fat. People are saying that so that they don't hurt your feelings, but it's not okay. I'm here to tell you it's not okay. And here is another example of people that are using excuses to not do the harder things in life, or just using things as a crutch. People that are acting a victim for just about everything that goes wrong in their life need to realize that everyone has problems every single day, sometimes serious problems every single day. And there are people that have much worse problems than them. There's always someone that has a worse life than you. There's always someone that has something worse than you. There's always people that have worse circumstances than you. And yet they somehow end up better than you, because they don't make the excuses of things that they have or don't have. So the people that are using crutches from everyday problems need to realize that everyone has problems, and that they need to move on from it. You need to move on from all these little things going on in your life every single day. These are problems that everyone faces, or even if the problems that not everyone faces, everyone has their own set of personal problems that happen. And you can't be using it as a crutch, because you'll never get anywhere if you do. And there are some times when you just need to get over yourself. Like, let's say you broke up with, like, let's say you're young and you were dating a girl for like 6 months or something like that, and she broke up with you and it didn't work out or whatever. Like, of course, that sucks. Okay, you're gonna feel hurt for maybe quite a while. It's not going to go away that super easy, but if you actually have purpose in your life, you actually have something going on. And this is why you should find some kind of purpose in your life, find something to actually do. Because people that make the relationship their purpose in life, once it's gone, then they have nothing to look forward to. They have nothing to look up to. That's why people get so sad when they get into breakups that are not even as serious as they might seem to be. So actually have something going on in your life. Find some kind of purpose in your life, and breakups are probably not going to be as bad because you're actually going to have something to do. You're actually going to have something to look forward to besides just that relationship. And some people just get hung up on it for way too long. Like they just won't shut up about their ex. They won't shut up about the breakup. Like it's okay to do these things at first, but you have to get over yourself. You have to get over it. You have to keep on moving because life doesn't stop. Now, the last example of people that I want to get into that are the worst excuse makers in the world are people that make excuses on other people's behalf. These are the worst kind of excuse makers in the world. And you want to know why? Here's an example. I once saw a comment on a video that I was watching. It was about some guy talking about the importance of working out. And someone in the comments said, but what if you're disabled? Now, there's no telling if this guy was actually disabled or not, but I put money on it that he wasn't disabled because he said, what if you're disabled? He didn't say, I'm a disabled guy, blah, blah, blah. He said, but what if you're disabled? You're not disabled. Why are you talking about being disabled if you're not even disabled? Like, why is that even crossing your mind? Like, you're literally using someone else's excuse and just saying it for no purpose. Does that even apply to you? Those are the worst kind of excuse makers, are people that make excuses on other people's behalfs. They use other people's problems and use it as their own, even though it has nothing to do with them. It doesn't apply to them. Why are you making excuses on other people's behalf? Like, that is just the stupidest thing you can do. Guys, don't be the victim. If there's a roadblock in your life, if there's some obstacle in your life, find a way around it. There's always a solution to a problem. You either go around the obstacle or you take a different route. That's how you do it. That is how you progress in life. Guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something valuable from this video. If you guys enjoyed, then a like and a subscribe would be much appreciated. It would be great to see your guys' support, and I want to give you guys the best content that I possibly can give you. So if you guys have any comments or suggestions for any kind of videos that you want, then leave something down in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.